Men who have completely stopped dating. What made you stop dating people? Story 1. When I was at my lowest point, I told my wife of 13 years, and she cut me out of her life entirely. She refused to let me back in the house with the threat of divorce if I tried. I spent 2 years living separately on and off while still trying to take care of the kids. I always thought that we'd reconcile given 13 years of marriage and me following her to 3 different states for her job while giving up career opportunities to follow her. I lived in a sober living house for a while, always with the idea that when I was better I might get to live back in my home and with my wife and kids. She continued with the threat of divorce if I tried to even spend the night at our house. She then filed for divorce and used the fact that I hadn't lived in the house as a reason I should have to pay her to keep the house. She did not mention in her filing that for years I had to rent temporary places at tens of thousands of dollars at my expense because I was hoping to make it work. So I got to the point pretty quickly then that we were breaking up. She was very surprised that she had to pay me out of the house. She was doubly surprised that since I gave up a lucrative career for her career that I didn't owe her anything, and she was triply surprised that I fought tooth and nail for every moment I could have with the kids. I make it work co-parenting with her and she's gotten better, but she still tries to use the kids as leverage. That's disgusting. Story 2. A solid year on 3 dating sites with no significant attempt at connection from others. Done it many times over my life and never had a problem, always got interest, chats etc. and meetups. Don't expect dating out of it, but some semblance of contact would have been nice this time around. 3 major sites. Profile with photos and text about myself. Premium subscription to each for several months. 1 date, with the most bigoted woman I've ever met who only wanted to discuss her regret at turning down a threesome with an ex that she clearly wasn't over. About 10 to 15 likes across all 3 sites, about 5 messages, none of which went past 2 replies. I swiped thousands and contacted hundreds. Nothing. I haven't changed in appearance. I changed my writing style and profile on each a few times, and my situation hasn't changed for the worse in the last 10 years. Homeowner, well-paying prestigious job, lots of hobbies, previously married many years ago and in long-term relationships since, etc. I think part of it is turning 40. That seemed to kill it all off. Part of it is having a daughter, who lives abroad with my long-divorced ex. The rest? The dating app scene is just absolutely stone-cold dead for people like me. Story 3. Honestly, I've never dated. I've always had some sort of reason not to, like too broke, too little time, living at home, no car. But now when I think about it, about the idea of someone showing genuine interest in me, it feels wrong. Like I can't accept it. If a girl were to come up to me tomorrow and say, "Hey, I think you're cute. Want to go out sometime?" I genuinely don't know if I could. Someone being interested in me goes against everything I've ever known, so clearly something's not right. I'd constantly be worried if I'm up to par. My situation hasn't improved much. Plus now I'm also starting to bald. And is this the right person for me? I've heard so many horror stories of lives being completely ruined by some evil/crazy bitch. And even she's not evil, will we actually get along, or is one of us hoping to fake it till we make it? Which is not how it's done. And to that end, can I actually commit to a relationship? I've been alone for so unreasonably long that it'd be an uphill battle to change now, making my space someplace I could welcome others, sharing my time with others, and opening up and being open emotionally for others. Would I actually connect with someone, or would I just be wishing to be alone again? So yeah, while I want a special connection with someone and have thought about putting in the effort to look, even though I have no idea where to start, another strike against me, the thought of reciprocated affection is so foreign to me I don't know if I can accept it. Story 4. Haven't dated since 2015. All 3 ex-girlfriends cheated on me, but the last one took the cake by threatening to go to the school and claim that I raped her if I broke up with her in response to me finding out that she cheated. She pretty much kept me prisoner in that relationship for another 2 months before I called her bluff and left, to which she responded by submitting a formal claim that my friend, a woman, sexually assaulted 2 guys we knows. Ex-GF knew nothing would come out of it. She just wanted to inflict some level of embarrassment on the friend that was the most vocal about convincing me to escape the relationship. So while the majority of my closest friends are women, Earlier this month I was asked to be a male bridesmaid for one of my friends, and my family know that in the event that I am ever married that most of my groomsmen will be women as well as my best man would be one as well. I still can't bring myself to trust women I don't know. While my friends are objectively very attractive, I have no romantic or sexual interest in them. They try to set me up with other women, but quite frankly I can't get past the thought in the back of my head that this one might at best just cheat on me like the rest, or, at worst, might accuse me of heinous things I didn't do just because she doesn't want to be broken up with. That stuff was traumatizing to deal with, since everyone knows that even a false accusation can ruin a guy's life. Made even worse in my case because that ex knew that I had to take a mutual friend to the hospital after she was SA'd, waited for hours in the hospital waiting room while they did the kit, went through her apartment with the police to help them collect necessary physical evidence, then spent months being the primary emotional support for that friend until she felt comfortable enough to go out again. So yeah, I'd disgusted by SA, and to have that weaponized against me in the form of a threat of a false accusation against me was like a sledgehammer to the face. Worse, my friends know I can't just go to therapy about it, because that won't do anything if some woman decides to make another false claim against me. I can't control what other people do, and I'd rather not be put into a position where someone can falsely accuse me of what I consider to be one of the most vile actions that a human can commit. I don't go out and I don't have strangers over, so I don't have to worry about it. So, for now, I'm perfectly content with doing nothing except going to work and then coming home to my cat. She's a needy bud. We even share a birthday, being visited by my friends when they have the time, spoiling the daughters of my closest friend with a plushie of every animal species I can find, and not having to deal with the relationship drama of the people around me. Story 5. Thought I had the perfect marriage. We talked heart to heart often, enjoyed each other's company and humor, had agreed to break up as friends and tell each other first in the event of attraction outside each other. Caught her cheating. Learned it wasn't the only time. If the marriage was troubled it wouldn't have hurt so much, but I was caught utterly and completely off guard. I have had many relationships in my 40-plus years, but this one made me lose trust and faith in people so much so that it took me almost 6 years to start dating again. Then I realized the scene had changed to shallow match collection where everything that counts in the long run is disregarded and looks are everything that matters anymore. Also, it doesn't look like many women in my age seem to value long relationships anymore. Much younger women seem to be interested in me, 20 plus, but I have yet to find someone whose personality, humor etc. match with mine. Those things are more important to me than cup size or clothing brands, so I kind of just stopped looking and gave up. I don't dislike being on my own, but there are moments when loneliness does feel unbearable. I just want peace and harmony, which in today's world seem to be rare and disvalued. Story 6. I'm in my 20s and I consider myself an average-looking guy. I dress well in moderately expensive clothes, I'm tall and have more of a dad bod. I have a stable job and make a good wage. I'm smart, can hold my own in a conversation and usually make people laugh, and for the love of me I can't get a girlfriend. I've had nice dates with women in restaurants, I've gone bowling, I've tried the movies. Shit just doesn't work. Dating apps are the worst. I've been telling myself it's a numbers game. Stats show that guys get around 2% matches, and I agree with that statistic. It feels representative, though it's only about 20% of people who will actually answer me. I've tried about 7 different apps, with Tinder actually giving the best results. But just to recap, out of 100 women I will only ever have a conversation with 0.4 of them. The worst part is 80% of the women I have actually brought on dates were so shallow that if they were a pool you wouldn't even be able to drown yourself. There's just so many girl bosses spouting the same repetitive media-fed opinions, and I've tried to steer conversations to make them talk about anything close to their experiences or beliefs or anything that might show me a sliver of personality, and there's nothing there. They don't even have hobbies, they just binge-watch TikTok or Netflix. I even ghosted my last date, told her I was sorry and wasn't feeling it, and deleted every app I had. But I'm traditional, I want a wife and I want kids, so I'll probably reinstall them soon because I don't get to meet many women outside of apps since most of my hobbies are nerdy and comprised of 99% guys. I feel as if I've lowered my standards to the minimum. I laugh when people post their preferences and they list alive, breathing, etc. Heck, I've taken out girls I wasn't even attracted to. I can't help but feel that Gen Z women suck. I know there's good ones out there. My pal has an amazing girl and I'm so happy for him. I just want to find mine already, you know? Story 7. 25 years old, 3D artist here. I was very invested in my last GF. In 2017 we broke up. I didn't take it well, decided to channel my energy into my craft. I spent every waking minute learning and practicing my artwork. Completely gave up on the idea of finding a new relationship. My life got 100x better. I met new people, creatives, like-minded folk. I moved to a different country and managed to get hired as an artist on a big title, can't say which because of NDA. I fell in love with myself. I enjoy every minute I get to spend with myself, and I don't crave the kind of relationship like I used to. It's not like I don't feel alone sometimes, I do. But I have extremely supportive friends and a renewed sense of confidence. I don't know if I'll find someone, but if I don't, I know I'll be fine. It's a small feeling, but it is extremely calming. Story 8. My ex cheated on me for our entire relationship and dumped me shortly after I had surgery as I was recovering. I get very few matches on dating apps. I am not conveniently attractive, and women have made it clear they don't want men approaching them in public, which I can understand being fair, given how some men react poorly or physically to being rejected. The few matches I do get, the women don't really seem interested in actually talking and immediately jump to ask why I'm taking them to dinner. And a lot of women on dating apps nowadays in my age bracket seem to have kids. I don't have an issue with kids, but I frankly don't want kids, and I also don't like the expectation that I've run into to basically pay for their kid. I also just found lately, I am happy with my life as it is. I travel for my job occasionally, and I don't need someone to make me feel fulfilled.